In the tumult of World War II, while the world focused on strategies and land battles, countless air battles raged overhead, each with stories and sacrifices untold. Imagine the bravery of pilots soaring through enemy fire, their pivotal roles often overshadowed and lost to time. Today, we'll uncover these forgotten skirmishes that changed the tide of war, reminding us that every flight had its heroes. Number 1. The Battle of the Bering Sea. Picture the icy expanse of the Bering Sea in March 1943, where American and Japanese forces found themselves locked in a bitter conflict, far removed from the sunlit battlefronts of the Pacific. On this desolate stage, fierce weather and thick fog turned what could have been a conventional dogfight into a chilling ghost story, an aerial ballet of survival and instinct. As American B-24 liberators soared through the skies, their crews were acutely aware of the peril they faced, not just from enemy fire, but from the unforgiving elements surrounding them. Visibility was nearly non-existent, forcing these pilots to rely on their radars and their own gut feelings to navigate the treacherous landscape. Each minute felt stretched as heavy clouds enveloped them, creating an atmosphere thick with tension and uncertainty. In that shrouded expanse, several B-24s took to the skies, engaging in a desperate fight against Japanese bombers. Yet amidst the chaos, some planes vanished without a trace, swallowed by the sea or engulfed by the relentless storm. Families back home held their breath, clinging to the flickering hope that their loved ones would return, while men in the pilots' seats faced the ultimate struggle: to trust their training and their instincts as they navigated this eerie stage. But even in silence, the battle echoed. Success was etched not in boisterous celebrations, but in the quiet disruption of Japan's northern supply lines. Though a mere skirmish in the grand tapestry of World War II, this battle was a poignant reminder of the costs of war. Victories won not with loud cheers, but in the silence that follows the storm. In that ghostly dogfight, with bombers lost to the cruel grasp of the Bering Sea, the true weight of the conflict weighed heavily on the hearts of all involved. Number 2. Operation Jericho. Operation Jericho stands out as one of the most audacious missions of World War II, and it all began with a simple yet harrowing reality. Resistance members imprisoned at Amiens were set to face execution. Imagine the tension in 1944 as Allied leaders devised a plan that felt like something out of a movie, a daring raid to shatter the prison walls and release the condemned. The striking Mosquito bombers, known for their agility and speed, took to the skies on that fateful day, flying low and fast through enemy territory. As they approached their target, can you picture the mix of fear and determination inside those cockpits? Pilots executed the mission with precision, dropping their payloads to breach the thick stone walls of the prison. Eyewitness accounts describe the chaos that ensued: dust billowing, guards scrambling, and prisoners bewildered by the sudden turn of fate. Yet, despite the bravery and success of the mission, the footage capturing this incredible moment mysteriously vanished. For decades, it was shrouded in secrecy, classified reports feeding much speculation. Some historians have even suggested that Operation Jericho may have been embellished, a piece of wartime propaganda designed to uplift spirits back home. It's a haunting thought, isn't it? The blurred lines between truth and myth can sometimes leave us to wonder, was this truly a symbol of hope and daring courage, or just another story crafted to inspire resilience during such a tumultuous time? Regardless, the legacy of Operation Jericho endures, a testament to the lengths individuals will go to fight for freedom. Number 3. The Cuttack Incident. In December 1942, while the world was embroiled in chaos, a significant yet largely forgotten event unfolded in India. Picture the scene: the people of Cuttack going about their daily lives, unaware that high above them, a formation of Japanese bombers was far from home, navigating through tumultuous skies. Their mission? To strike deep into British India, targeting a city that would soon find itself in the crosshairs of war. As these aircraft approached, British defences, ever vigilant, scrambled to intercept the intruders. But nature had its own plans. Torrential tropical storms swept across the region, throwing both the attackers and defenders into disarray. The skies darkened not just with the clouds of war, but with the uncertainty of whether they could fulfill their objectives or even return home. Locals, however, later recounted vivid memories of unearthly sights, wreckage spiraling down into the dense jungles that embraced Cuttack. Can you imagine standing there, witnessing the remnants of war raining from the heavens, forever altering the landscape of your everyday life? Yet, despite these first-hand accounts, there are no official records of this audacious raid. Silence reigned, obscured by the chaos of battle, the overwhelming grip of censorship, and the deluge of seasonal storms. What's remarkable is the idea that such monumental events can be erased from history, snuffed out like the flames of conflict themselves. This incident, one of the few unconfirmed air battles fought over India, becomes not just a story of warfare, but a reminder of how quickly the spectre of war can turn into a whisper, hidden behind the curtain of time. It challenges us to reflect on the stories lost, overshadowed by more prominent narratives, and the fleeting nature of memory during times of tumult. Number 4. The Ghost Battle of Rabaul. In late 1943, Allied intelligence confidently declared Rabaul neutralized, a statement that should have afforded US forces a sense of relief. Picture it, the massive Japanese stronghold, a thorn in the side of Allied operations in the Pacific, was supposedly reduced to mere status. But the reality was far murkier than the official reports. Intercepted Japanese radio transmissions painted a different picture, one of robust air defenses still very much operational, standing ready to engage US bombers that threatened the skies above. As plans were laid out for the final raid on Rabaul, the unsettling truth unspooled behind the scenes. Days after the Allies had declared victory, pilots launched missions into the skies above this heavily fortified island. The mission logs, it's as if they didn't exist. The names of brave pilots who risked everything vanished without a trace, leaving only echoes of their courage. Turbulent skies held their secrets close, as reports of wrecks never surfaced, leading to a chilling silence surrounding the operations. Yet, in the hushed tones of whispered histories, Japanese sources confirmed a battle raged above Rabaul, a desperate, unrecorded clash fought by valorous men out of sight, not only from the enemy, but from their own command's narrative. Imagine being one of those pilots, flying into uncertainty, believing you were part of a decisive moment, only to find your efforts erased from the annals of history. Their fight, fierce, relentless, and ultimately lost to time, represents a poignant reminder of the sacrifices made in the fog of war, revealing that not every battle is recorded, nor every hero remembered. In a theatre where history often gets rewritten, the truth remains obscured, waiting for a voice. Number 5. The Black Thursday over Schweinfurt. October 14, 1943, etched its mark in history as Black Thursday. On this day, the skies over Schweinfurt would become a graveyard for over 60 US bombers, all valiantly trying to cripple Germany's essential ball-bearing factories. These factories were vital for the Nazi war machine, and the mission was critical. Yet what often goes unspoken is the sheer scale of chaos that unfolded beyond the main raid. As bombers pushed deeper into enemy territory, the Luftwaffe was relentless. Reports indicate not just one, but multiple counterattacks emerged in rapid succession, as if the sky itself had turned into a battlefield of its own, with frantic dogfights lighting up the horizon. Many of these fierce skirmishes have faded into obscurity, merely footnotes in history, lost among the shredded mission reports strewn across the offices of military analysts. Think of the brave men flying those bombers, their hearts racing as they faced not just the anti-aircraft fire, but also enemy fighters in a chaotic dance of life and death. Each encounter, each life lost or saved, demands recognition. Yet in the grand narrative of World War II, many of these courageous figures remain as shadows, forgotten heroes in a war that would reshape the world. It's on us now to remember them, to ensure that their sacrifices aren't swept away by the sands of time. This isn't just a story of loss, but of courage, camaraderie, and resilience against overwhelming odds. Number 6. The Arctic Ambush. Amidst the biting winds and treacherous ice of the Arctic summer in 1942, convoy PQ-17 set sail for Murmansk, laden with vital supplies for the Soviet Union. On the horizon loomed a deadly threat, the Luftwaffe. As these German bombers descended, chaos erupted on the convoy. While naval forces faced the lion's share of scrutiny for the devastating losses, a hidden story emerged from the icy depths of history. Witnesses among Soviet ranks recounted an extraordinary air battle, one that lasted for hours, where a small contingent of British Hurricanes defied overwhelming odds. Each fighter aircraft became a beacon of bravery, intercepting wave after wave of bombers intent on destruction. Through the relentless snowfall, some Hurricanes vanished, plummeting into the icy sea, their pilots erasing any record of their sacrifice. This act of heroism, shrouded in silence and obscured by time, reminds us that bravery often goes uncelebrated. The courage of those aviators lost in history stands as a testament to the relentless spirit of humanity amidst the coldest of battlegrounds. Number 7. The Last Flight over Burma. As the Allies pushed deeper into Burma in 1945, the skies above the dense jungle became a battleground not just against enemy forces, but against nature itself. It was during these tumultuous weeks that several RAF fighter squadrons vanished, their fates shrouded in mystery. Those brave pilots flying their metal birds over the lush landscape faced the chaos of monsoon storms and relentless Japanese resistance. It wasn't just a tactical mission, it was a desperate race against time and an unforgiving environment. Picture this, the roar of engines echoing through the verdant canopy, suddenly drowned out by the relentless torrential rain. The thick jungle claimed its victims, swallowing entire squadrons without a trace. Engines sputtered and bullets whizzed, while below, the underbrush turned into a deceptive labyrinth where even the bravest struggled to navigate. Years later, as the stories whispered through the villages, locals spoke with awe about the metal birds that fell from the sky. They ventured into the jungle, uncovering remnants of those lost flights, twisted metal entwined with vines, a haunting testament to the fierce battles waged above. Yet, despite these discoveries, the final confrontations remained unrecorded, their stories eclipsed by nature's overgrowth. Each piece of wreckage tells a tale of sacrifice, bravery, and the harsh truth that sometimes even the mightiest can be erased by the very earth they sought to conquer. Number 8. The Balkan Skies Incident. As the shadows of war loomed over Europe in 1944, the skies in the Balkans became a theatre for a tragic yet extraordinary event that many still know little about. A contingent of Allied bombers on a crucial mission accidentally strayed into Soviet-controlled airspace. Picture this, the throbbing engines of B-17s cutting through the clouds, their crews filled with purpose but completely unaware of the peril that lay ahead. Those crews were comprised of young men, each with dreams of returning home. They were part of a united front against tyranny, fighting for a world they hoped to rebuild. But on that fateful day, as they ventured deeper into hostile territory, a miscommunication ignited a deadly chain reaction. Soviet fighters, unable to communicate effectively, took to the skies, believing they were intercepting German aircraft. The result was a brief but fierce dogfight, with the air filled with gunfire and chaos, a tragic confrontation of allies turned enemies. Imagine the shock. Bomber pilots who trained to face the Axis powers, now evading friendly fire from fellow soldiers of the same cause. In those harrowing moments, camaraderie was shattered and lives were lost. After the dust settled, governments quickly moved to suppress reports of the incident, prioritizing unity over truth. It created a silence around a moment that starkly reminded us of the complexity of wartime alliances and misunderstandings. For years, the full story of the Balkan Skies incident lay buried, a painful chapter erased from the historical narrative. Decades later, the declassification of mission maps finally shed light on this betrayal of friendship. It serves as a poignant reminder of the fragile nature of alliances and the heavy cost of miscommunication when lives hang in the balance. In the end, it wasn't just planes that collided in those skies, but the hopes and dreams of warriors united by a common cause, but torn apart by tragic human error. Number 9. The Siege of Breslau. In the dark, frost-bitten skies over Breslau, 1945, desperation hung in the air as thick as the smoke rising from the beleaguered city below. Encircled by the relentless advance of Soviet forces, the Luftwaffe found themselves engaged in an almost mythic struggle. It wasn't just the fate of a city at stake, it was the very survival of a once mighty air force. With each flight, pilots took to the skies, fully aware that their missions might be their last. They bravely soared into the teeth of enemy fire, dodging Yak fighters while attempting to drop supplies that would sustain their beleaguered comrades. But these missions weren't recorded in the annals of military history. Instead, they unfolded like whispers among the clouds, shrouded in shadows and swallowed by silence. Soviet archives tell of unrecorded aerial duels during these dark days, fleeting glimpses of German pilots battling against overwhelming odds. They fought not just for Breslau, but for the pride of their service, for the remnants of a Reich that was nearly extinguished. As the Luftwaffe's last pilots engaged in this ghost battle, they were far more than mere figures flying outdated aircraft. They were fathers, husbands, and brothers, grappling with the knowledge that their flights might mean life or death for those below. Each gripping sortie was a testament to their resolve, flying into the unknown while leaving behind families torn by war. However, the grim reality was that few returned, swallowed by the very skies they sought to defend. This poignant chapter of history symbolizes not only the end of an air force, but the tragic fate of those who were daring enough to venture into the dying light of a lost cause, fighting bravely but ultimately fading into obscurity. As we reflect on this forgotten struggle, we are reminded of the personal sacrifices made in the throes of war, echoing through the ages as a bittersweet reminder of humanity's endurance amid despair. The Siege of Breslau stands as a testament to the indomitable spirit of those who fought, even when the odds were vanishingly small. Number 10. Operation Lusty's Hidden Files. As the dust settled after the war's end, Allied forces were not only celebrating their victory, but also scrambling to secure the technological advancements that had given their enemies a fighting chance. Enter Operation Lusty, an ambitious endeavour aimed at capturing cutting-edge German aircraft that could have reshaped aviation as we knew it. But here's where it gets intriguing. Among the whispers surrounding this operation, rumours floated about a secluded base fiercely resisting the Allied advance, armed with experimental jets that pushed the boundaries of aerodynamics. Imagine pilots not just flying their planes, but engaging in a high-stakes dogfight where the rules of traditional warfare were turned upside down. The thrill of the chase, the roar of the jets, it sounds almost cinematic. Yet, despite the grueling efforts of historians and enthusiasts, the truth behind this potential encounter remains shrouded in secrecy. Official documents non-existent. The base's location locked away in layers of red tape within US archives. What if this wasn't merely an unrecorded skirmish, but rather an early indication of jet technology that some wanted to keep under wraps? It's a tantalizing thought, leaving us to wonder, could the government have buried this story to protect revolutionary advancements, or is it simply the product of imagination, the kind of legend that stirs the hearts of aviation fans everywhere? The battle that never was continues to linger, challenging our thirst for knowledge and the stories yet to be uncovered.